Hello everyone, my name is Anna from BookSawyer, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Beetlejuice original Broadway cast recording. So, if you haven't heard of Beetlejuice the musical, it is the adaptation of the original film Beetlejuice, which starred Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder. And I personally haven't seen that film, so this entire review is just going to be based on the soundtrack alone, which I think will be helpful because I also haven't seen the show live, so it's just a review of the soundtrack as a whole and the music and how that helped me to understand the score. And so I'm going to be talking about that. So if you haven't heard about what Beetlejuice is about, it follows the story of a teenage girl named Lydia who is kind of obsessed with the whole being dead thing, and she doesn't have a very good relationship with her father, and so she kind of wants to get revenge on her father and her stepmother, and so she kind of recruits this demon. Yeah. Interesting story, right? But I really didn't expect to like it. Like, I expected to like it a little bit, but I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. I rated Beetlejuice a 10 out of 10. I thought it was phenomenal. About the Beetlejuice soundtrack, the original Broadway cast recording, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because it was just such incredible music, and I'm going to be just talking about that in my review. So if you want to hear my thoughts about it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the feel of the show and kind of how the music was able to capture that. So Beetlejuice is a very dark show. It's about a girl who's a goth who recruits a demon. Of course it's going to be dark, and the music really did that. It had a really dark feel to it, and even though I haven't seen the show and I'd really like to see how that works hand in hand with the set and everything, from the pictures that I've seen and the costume pictures that I've seen, I just really think it works really well, and I just really think I got the Beetlejuice vibe, I guess. And I think that if someone who's reviewing it has seen the actual film, then I feel like they could say yay or nay to that. But I think really, just from what I think, I really got a feel for the show. It didn't sound like every other contemporary movie to musical adaptation, because it isn't. It's Beetlejuice. It's so distinctly out there. And so I just really liked the uniqueness of the score. So I wanted to kind of go in and talk about a bunch of the individual songs that I really liked from the show. And I should mention, when I discuss the plot, that I am not going to be spoiling any major spoilers of it that are in it. I'm going to be talking about what certain songs are about, but I'm not going to be spoiling the ending or spoiling anything that isn't implied or that isn't in the plot breakdown or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. So by far my favorite song in the entire show is Dead Mom. And yes, you heard me. Dead Mom. So it's not a spoiler, but Lydia, her mother passed away when she was, I believe, younger, so I'm assuming it was at least a couple years before it, and she's still, as a teenager, still struggling with it. And so it's partially about her grieving her mother and her being upset, but it's also about her kind of saying why life isn't the same, and kind of blaming she's really complaining about a lot of the things that her father and her stepmother do and how they make her feel. And I just love that song so much. I sing it. I can't sing the song. I'm not a Lydia type, but dreamroll. That's not my casting type, but it's such a good song and I love it so much. It's so good, and Sophia Ann Caruso sings it so well. There's some lyrics in the bridge, and all this music is available on YouTube and also on iTunes, and I'm assuming Google Play as well. So yeah. The lyric is, it's the second part of the slow middle section. There's two different sections of it, and the second part is, I can't say the lyrics for copyright reasons, but it's just so beautiful, and that whole section makes me cry every time I hear it. And that whole part, oh my gosh, I cry. But yeah, it's such a good song, and I really think if you are going to only check out one song from Beetlejuice, you should check out that one, or my other favorite song, which is the whole being dead thing, which, can we just talk about Alex Brightman? Alex Brightman is so talented. He is such a phenomenal actor. He was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Leading Actor in a Musical this year for his performance as Beetlejuice, and that song is just so good. He is so good in this role. And I just want to talk about also Alex Brightman, what he does with his voice during the show. So Alex Brightman has to do kind of like a vocal impression to sound like Beetlejuice. It's a very kind of raspy, almost like you're clenching like your throat together. And if it sounds like something that if you do it on train that you could really hurt your vocal cords, but he does it in such a healthy way, and I just think that's so phenomenal because like you hear him, he still is singing and he doesn't sound like all like sick and like raspy and like he's lost his voice when he talks in like interviews while he's currently doing this show. And so he's just so talented, and I don't know how he manages to do that, but just like a round of applause for Alex Brightman. That takes some real effort. And then I also want to talk about Say My Name really briefly. I love that song so much. It's such a good song. It's very it's kind of funny in some aspects. It's the song in which like Beetlejuice wants to like convince Lydia to kind of recruit him. It's such a good song. The part with where Carrie Butler and Ron McClure, who I'm gonna talk about in a minute, but the part where they like sing in there, I'm not gonna like say lyrics or anything. You should just go listen to it. It's so good. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just overall for actors, Carrie Butler and Ron McClure, who I haven't seen the show, so but I've heard great things about like their on stage kind of chemistry and dynamic with each other, but they sound really good together. I'm just gonna say that they sound so good together. So yeah, that's what I would talk about. The last thing I wanted to talk about was about how how much of the show you are getting from the soundtrack. Again, I haven't seen any of Beetlejuice, so that's why I kind of wanted to talk about that and mention that, because I didn't know any of the plot of Beetlejuice besides the basic summary. And so I really understood pretty much all of the plot points from the soundtrack. I don't think you're going to have to be reading a plot breakdown step by step while you're listening to it. I think if you haven't seen it, you will get everything except for the ending. I was kind of confused about the last two songs a little bit, just because I wasn't sure. The second to last song is called Creepy Old Guy. I know, but it's a good song. And I kind of knew what was happening, but I needed to just check to verify. And also I think it is really good to check just because you get a little extra snippet of information onto why that's happening. And then with the last song, I wasn't confused, as I knew it was like the Yay song at the end, the like upbeat finale song, but I didn't really know why like certain like characters weren't in that song, and so I had to look up why certain characters or certain things weren't in that song to kind of figure out exactly why. And again, if you've seen the movie, that won't be a problem, because I can't like attest to whether or not something is different, but I just looked up the movie plot breakdown and I figured it out. But for the most part, it's not like you're gonna have to be constantly checking what's going on. You really get you get the full plot experience from the music, which is really good, because if you want to listen to the soundtrack without seeing the show, then you're good. Although I think you should really go see the show. I haven't seen the show, but when next time I go to New York, I really want to see the show really bad. Okay, I really do, because like that. And like, can we just talk for a minute? This is totally not Beetlejuice related, but the Prom and Be More Chill are closing. What? Okay, my chair almost came forward, so I'm not gonna do that again. But Beetlejuice, The Prom, and Be More Chill are probably in that order my three favorite musicals from this season. Probably, because I don't know, it's way too hard to like narrow it down. But if I had to choose, those would at least be in my top 5. But I think those might be my top 3, and 2 of them are closing. So Beetlejuice, you better stick around for a while. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited, and I really want to go to New York now before they both close, because they're both closing on August 11th, I think. So yeah, but that was totally unrelated. But overall, I really, really loved Beetlejuice, and I really think it is a worthwhile musical to listen to. I think even if you're kind of iffy about a lot of the new musicals that are coming out, because a lot of them are adaptations, and if you think a lot of them sound the same, I really think that you're not going to think that with Beetlejuice. I really think the music is so unique, and I think that it's just so, even though I haven't seen the movie, I just think it's so Beetlejuice. Like, I can't imagine any other musical sounding that way. Not even other darker musicals like Addams Family. They don't even have a slightly similar sound. Although I do think Sophia and Caruso should play Wednesday. One day. So yeah, other than that, like, there isn't really a similarity. I love Dreamcasting, my favorite actors. So yeah, but there isn't really any similarities. I really think it is a very unique musical. Again, I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I really recommend it. So I really hope you listen to it, and I hope that even if you don't, you really enjoyed this video. I totally understand if you don't want to subscribe, because I am like a total weirdo, and I am super weird, but I make videos every other day, switching off between a book video and a theater video. And so my next video is going to be book related, but if you don't like books, just in 4 days there's going to be another theater video up, so you'll like half my videos at least. So I really hope that you consider subscribing if you don't think I'm too annoying, and I just hope you have a great day. Bye!